Scorpio, welcome to your full moon in Cancer reading. Let's get started and see the messages we have for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the full moon in Cancer happening on January the 13th. There's been so many interesting messages for the different signs. This is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, but check out your other placements. So many interesting messages. Let's see what we get for Scorpio here. Okay, Scorpio, you've got the Two of Swords and the King of Swords in reverse. Wow. You are at a crossroads, my friends. Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and it feels like it's emotionally charged, and it could be creating sort of a King of Swords in reverse in this context makes me think that you're not able to articulate how you're not able to articulate these feelings into words right now, Scorpio, and you may need to sort of address something that feels like a fork in the road or a stalemate, where there's likely something that needs your focus and attention, but it's like you don't want to look at it right now because of the way it's making you feel, and you might not have sort of articulated the way to communicate this or how to speak about it, how to express yourself in a way that feels like you're capturing how it's making you feel. Seven of Cups coming out as the obstacle really gives this feeling that says, I need to visualize this first. I may need to visualize how something is going to make me feel inside before I have the words to express, those feelings, that decision. That King of Swords with the two really does feel like there's a decision looming, but something is activating your emotions to sort of feel intense right now around this. And if anything, we can use those emotions to try on different options, as so to speak, where we can put something on in our visualization, in our imagination. How would it feel if? And really try to embody it to know, and it feels like there's a decision you need to make here in order to resolve some of this inner conflict. And your intuition and your emotions are really trying to guide you through this, but it feels like they're heightened. So let's see for Scorpio, what's rising to the top? Lovers in reverse. Yeah. It could be a decision around whether or not to continue with a connection. You might be feeling like someone is not committing as much as they're talking. They're talking, but they're not walking the talk. I can't think of how that expression goes. Talking the talk, but not walking the walk. And as a result, you may need to sort of formulate a direction that feels good for you. But it's almost like you have to make a decision on how you're going to express how you feel about this as well. I wonder if you're not talking about it. You might be in a dynamic that doesn't feel complementary anymore. It may feel like it's time to explore other options, but you might be hesitating in terms of, how do I deliver the news? How do I communicate this? Two of Swords, King of Swords reverse. Let's see what's at the root for Scorpio. Nine of Wands. Wow. In reverse. So you're drained. You're super drained. And you might be feeling like, I can't keep going, and this isn't a moment to persevere. Nine of Wands in reverse, it's almost like we've already persevered and we've already pushed through. We've already tried to go the distance with something, and it's now taking a toll on us. And we really may need to make a decision about something and start exploring some new options here, Scorpio. Let's see, recent past, the moon in reverse. So this is definitely activating some fears, and you've got the Wheel of Fortune. So it is, something that feels like a redirection. And maybe it's as simple as that, as the words that would match how you're feeling is to just say, this is a redirection. I'm not rejecting you. I'm just doing what feels right for me. And it might feel like, saying it's not you, it's not me, or it's not you, it's me, but kind of is what I'm feeling, is that, kind of gives that idea that if something's not working for you, it might not be working for someone else either, but it is draining you. So there could be something that someone's benefiting from having you around, but it's not benefiting you. And that moon makes me think you may have already sort of realized that. 5 of Cups, yeah. And so you know that the path ahead may be one that's going to let someone down. But, you know, there's been a theme in these readings for the full moon in Cancer saying, well, would I rather the temporary pain of disappointing someone and creating a shift and a change versus the more chronic, long-lasting pain of abandoning myself, Empress in reverse, because I don't want to upset someone else. And that is a recipe for being drained right there. And feeling sort of that self-abandonment. And it's interesting, you've got the sun as the inner shift, so it's like start seeing the potential of something, and it is a new beginning on the emotions. I can't help but feel that there's a Scorpio out there that may need to hear that it's okay to disconnect from relationships that don't feel authentic and don't allow you to express yourself in a way that feels authentic. And it's okay. It doesn't have to be the end of you know, the world. And I say that without being facetious, but it may feel like that sometimes when we see the 5 of Cups, like, well, this is brutal. And it's like the sun is saying, is it really brutal? Maybe we've already gone through the part that's the hardest, and now we just need to communicate our decision and move on. And you know, when in these kind of moments, I like to remind people that, like, if it's not working for you, unless they're benefiting from draining you, it's likely not working for them on some level. Another thing that you might be considering here is showing up in the relationship authentic. And that in itself may change the dynamics completely. Like if you're operating at your full potential, and that's new, that's a change, that in and of itself may create the desired shift where, you know, I don't necessarily have to stay inauthentic and continue to feel drained. I can actually just start being more myself around this person and see what happens. And, you know, the other person might realize that this isn't working for them then, because you're suddenly not breaking your back, you know. That's really interesting. 3 of Wands in reverse is the outer shift. Yeah, you may be settling for something here, and it's going to end up creating a need for strong boundaries. You know, it's like you're being asked here to really stand up for yourself, and the boundaries I mean are more personal boundaries. Like, I'm not going to cross my own boundaries to sort of make something feel good for someone else when it doesn't feel good for me. I gotta look out for myself here. I've really got to stand up for myself. I got those 2 sevens. This is decision time, my friends. Yeah, Ace of Cups. This is a time, Ace of Cups in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse. By saying no to something, you're serving yourself. You've got to take care of yourself first. There is no prize for self-abandonment. There's no medal for being a martyr. There's no praise that you'll get for sacrificing yourself to make someone else feel like a relationship is functioning when it's not. That's not even sustainable. So the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands in reverse, I think, are coming out to say I need to start saying no to certain things and start focusing on what are my needs, what serves me, because I'm burning out quick here. And then you're no good to anybody, not even yourself. You know, 9 of Wands, I always think, what kind of physical symptoms are coming up for you? Are you starting to feel muscle ache, tension, you know, difficulty with sleep, feeling like you're just drained and exhausted all the time? It's really time to start filling up your cup here with this Ace of Cups in reverse. And that may be something that you're you know, hesitating on a bit here. Ace of Cups in reverse. That's 3 aces in reverse for you. There's that King of Pentacles in reverse again. We saw earlier where I can't help but think someone's not meeting you, and it's not about them, but like, are you committing to something here that's not sustainable? That's the bottom line. Like, if it's not sustainable for you, you have to kind of nip this in the bud here. It's so funny. Even as I cut the deck, we're seeing TikTok and clean it up. Like, talk about a clear message. It's time. It's time to make a decision about something that I feel like you've been reflecting on for some time now, Scorpio. Fork in the road. All of the cards are conspiring to support that it's time. It's time to make the decision that you know deep down will set you free. Go the distance. You got to keep going. You can't stop here and say good enough. I can't help but think that you'd be settling and you'd be draining yourself, and that could really have its own consequences here by denying the truth. We're limiting our perspective on a new life that's possible. And you've even got the Y card in reverse, sort of calling you out on what are your intentions here exactly. Like, I keep getting this message that says there's no prize for being the martyr. There's no prize for self-sacrifice and self-abandonment. There's nothing you can achieve from that except dis-ease and pain, right? You're regenerating. And you gotta go the distance on this, on filling yourself up, on pursuing things that feel like your comeback to you. Yeah. Let me see what the Moonology deck will have for you here, Scorpio. Emotions are running high, and it's time to take action. Yeah. And I'll just move these out of the way, but it just feels like you already know this. If this is resonating for you, you've already reflected on this. Now it's just time to take that inner reflection in the moon and turn it into an outer action in the Sun card. It's like it's time to start taking an action on these things, making the decision that you feel a little stumped with right now, not because you don't know what to do, but I think because of how you're feeling. With that 5 of Cups and the 9 of Wands, it's time to release negativity. Something is really not for you here, my friend, and I think you know it. I think you know it. And that is a full moon in Scorpio card, that it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. And you've got the end of a tough cycle approaches, and that's coming out with be bold and make the first move. This is your decision to make. No one's going to make this for you. I don't think, sometimes there are moments where we think, well, if I let them screw up just one more time, then I can get out of this without feeling guilty or like I did anything. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for that. Start your new beginning now. Don't delay. Don't delay. You have 3 aces in reverse. And you're at a 9 here. That nine of Wands could evolve into a 10 of Wands, where then you really start to feel some unsustainable energy. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that for you, Scorpio. Those are the messages I have for you. I hope it's been helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next reading. Take care, everyone.